Hello friends, my name is Praveen Anchal and I welcome you all in our YouTube channel of Core Academy.
In this part, we will discuss about the farming activity. So friends, you can divide the activities in village Palampur into two parts, that is farming activity and non-farming activity. So about 75% of people in village Palampur is working in farming activity and only 25% people are working in non-farming activity. So it is very important for us to discuss about this farming activity in detail. So here in this chapter we will ask few questions and we'll try to give answer also. So here the first question is means the farmers who are doing cultivation or the farming in land, so is this land fixed or it is available in unlimited quantity? The answer we all know that the land is fixed and the particular amount of area under cultivation is limited. So the next question is how we can increase the farming production in this limited area. The third question is will the land sustain? Under this we will discuss about the possible usage of land in future and what are the negative and positive side of the modern farming methods that we are using nowadays. And now the fourth question is how is land distributed between the farmers of Palampur, means whether it is distributed equally or large portion of farming area is held by few people. So we'll discuss about that also. Now the fifth question is who will provide the labor? Okay, who will provide the labor? The small farmers will provide the labor or the big farmers will provide the labor? Now the sixth question is the capital needed for farming. The capital needed in farming, capital means money. So here who will give money for the farming, means how the small farmers will get money and how the big farmers will get money. So this we will discuss. And after that the last seventh question is after production or after farming how they will sell the surplus production in the market. So this also will discuss, that is sale of surplus farm products. So that also we will see in upcoming minutes. So let's start from the first point, that is land one. So we all know that land is fixed and in village Palampur especially since 1960 there is no expansion, only some wasteland has been converted into cultivable land, that's it. Means for the last couple of decades there is no expansion at all and every piece of land which is coming under the cultivation is used in the village Palampur. Now here some basic information I am giving to you, some extra information that is given in book. That is standard unit of measuring land is hectare. So this question is also coming in 1 mark, that is what is hectare. So hectare is a standard unit of measurement of land. And some local units are also there such as bigha and guinta. So that's also we should understand and we should know. So friends, if land is fixed, then how we can increase our production with this limited available land? So here, yes, we can increase our production by implementing these three things. The first one is irrigation. So irrigation in village Palampur is most of the time electric run tube wells people and villagers and farmers are using. By mid 1970s all the 200 hectare of cultivable farming area is under irrigation. Means in village Palampur irrigation percentage is 100%, which is very good. Now in previous old time they were using Persian wells, but now they are using electric run tube wells. Because of this electric run tube wells it is very easy to do irrigation, to provide irrigation facilities to the farming fields as well as in a efficient and in a fast way also. But remember everyone, all the villages in India doesn't have 100% irrigation rate. If you talk about the on an average basis, so only about 45% of agricultural land in India is coming under irrigation. Remaining 55% of land is directly depending on the blessings of Lord Indra, that is completely depending on rainfall. which is very alarming situation in India, and it is one of the most important root cause of the poor situation of farmers in India. But one thing you remember, if all the individual will go for electric run tube wells, then the groundwater exploitation will be very high. So what can be the solution for that? Instead of going for individual tube well, we should go for the one public large tube well, and it should open for a specific time, like for morning 2 or 3 hours and for evening 2 or 3 hours, and that particular water should be used by the entire village. So instead of using individual tube well by each and every villagers, we should use 1 or 2 large tube wells for the entire village. So in that way we can provide irrigation to all, as well as we can save our groundwater also from over exploitation. Now the next one is multiple cropping. So what is multiple cropping? Multiple cropping is also one of the best way of increasing the farming production in a limited land. And what is the meaning of multiple cropping? Multiple cropping is growing more than one crop in a particular year. So here the villagers of village Palampur are using most of the time 2 crops in 1 year, and sometimes 3 crops also, like one they are using jowar, that is the kharif crop, and with that they are also using wheat, which is rabi crop. With that, in between they are also using sugarcane or the potato. So with that they are mixing and matching multiple crops in a particular area, so that their production can be high, and if production will be high, profit will also be high. So in short, we can say that the people of village Palampur are growing rabi crop as well as kharif crop as well as jaid crop also. Rabi crop is the crop of winter season, kharif crop is the crop of rainy season, and jaid crop is the crop of summer season. So all the season they are busy by producing some or the other crop. Now the next method of increasing the production is by implementing modern farming methods. Now under these modern farming methods, they are using HYV seeds, high yield variety seeds, that is, and chemical fertilizers and pesticides. They are using electric run tube wells for irrigation. They are using modern machines, for example tractor, thresher, harvester, and a number of other farming tools and technologies. So these are coming under the modern methods of farming. So we have started this in India from 1960s under green revolution. So if you talk about the green revolution, so green revolution is having positive positive side also and negative side also. So if you compare this modern farming method with the simple method what we were using before 1960, means before green revolution, so you will have some interesting data here. Like if you compare these two methods, that is simple farming method and modern farming method, means before green revolution and after green revolution. So let's do the comparison here. So here before green revolution we were using traditional seeds, whereas after green revolution we are using high yield variety seeds, which are famously called as HYV seeds. Now the second one is production. So if you see the production now, so here from the traditional seeds you are growing about 1300 kg per hectare if you're talking about the wheat, that is the kharif crop. So if you're using the same area, but if you are going with the high yield variety seeds, so it can give you 3200 kg per hectare of the production, which is 2.5 to 3 times more than the traditional seeds. Now the second very big difference is, before green revolution we were using natural fertilizers, and after green revolution we are using chemicalized fertilizers and pesticides. Now you all know that if we are using these chemical fertilizers and pesticides in a over excessive manner, then it is not good for our body as well as for our soil. Now here the third one is, you see here before green revolution we were using basic tools and technologies, but after green revolution we are using advanced tools and technologies. For example, we are using tractor, thresher and tube wells. Since these machines and tools and technologies are very expensive, that is why the cost will increase, and since you are using machines, so machines will do the work of all the people, so ultimately people will not get job because their job now is done by machine, so people will lose their job here. Now the next one is, as I already told you, here before green revolution cost will be very low, but after green revolution cost will be very high because the farmers have to purchase very expensive chemical fertilizers and pesticides, and they have to go for those expensive tools and technologies. Now the next very important point is this, before green revolution this natural way of doing farming was required very less amount of water, but here this after green revolution we require high amount of water because these chemical fertilizers and pesticides require high amount of water. Now the last one is this traditional way of or the simple way of doing farming is very safe, there is no side effect of that. But if you are using this modern farming methods, using these chemical fertilizers, pesticides, as well as these high yield variety seeds, so if you are using it in a excessive manner, then in a long period of time it can very badly harm the soil quality and fertility, the groundwater, as well as other natural resources. So these are some positives and these are some negatives. So friends, after comparing these two methods, you tell me that which one you think that is better. So please comment below and let me know. One very important information I have to share with you, that this chemical fertilizers, if you want to make now, so here three very important components are there which are known as NPK. So N stands for nitrogen, P stands for phosphorus, and K stands for potassium. So these three very important elements you have to mix in a ratio of 4:2:1 for making chemical fertilizers, and it is and the consumption of this chemical fertilizer is highest in Punjab, that you must remember. But nowadays the Punjab farmers, one report shows that the Punjab farmers are facing the problem of soil quality, because they are using these chemical fertilizers in very excess amount. Because of that the quality of soil and the fertility of soil is going down and down and down. So that is why it is very alarming situation in Punjab nowadays. So here one thing I just want to mention, that this soil fertility and groundwater are very important resources, because they are built up over many years. So if we are over exploiting these resources, then we have to think seriously that where are we going. So now friends, move to the next part, that is how the land is distributed in the village of Palampur. I have to say that the land is not equally distributed among the farmers of Palampur. For example, as I told you before also, we have about 450 families in village Palampur, out of which 150 families are landless, means they don't have any type of land at all. They are working as a landless labor in others' farming land. Now apart from that, about 240 farmers are small farmers. And what is the criteria of calling small farmers? If you have less than 2 hectares of land, then you will be called as small farmers. I have told you what is hectare. Hectare is the standard unit of measurement of land. So here these remaining 60 farmers are called as big farmers, who have more than 2 hectares of land. And out of this 60 now, few are extra large, big, more rich farmers who have more than 10 hectares of land. So you can understand this farming land is not at all equally distributed. Now I am showing you one picture. Now you can easily understand, about 20% large farmers are having about 64% of land, and about 80% of small farmers are having just 36% of cultivated area or cultivated land. Now you can understand easily that land is not divided equally in the village of Palampur. Now the next question is, who will provide the labor? So here the answer is, labor is basically provided by the medium and large farmers, because they have huge amount of land which cannot be cultivated by themselves alone. That is why they need labor for the cultivation. Now the next question is, who will do the work of labor? So who will do? Bhai, landless labor will do work, and small farmers. Remember, small farmers are also working in their own land, as well as they are working for some extra income in the farming land of rich and medium farmers also. Now the next one is, this payment is also not fixed. This is also changing region to region, crop to crop, from one farming activity to another farming activity. Their employability is also not sure, or also not fixed. Means sometimes they are hired for daily basis, sometimes they are hired for a particular farming activity, and sometimes they are also employed for a whole year. Maximum time, like our government has decided low wages for the farmers or the farming workers, but maximum time they are not even getting those low wages which has been decided by the government of India, because the farmers who need work are more in number and the work is less in number. That is why they have to do the work even on a extreme low wages. So because of that, extreme condition, and number of farmers are migrating to cities and nearby small towns for finding better job and work, but there also their condition is very poor. Now the next question is, from where they will get the capital? Capital means money. So this answer is, the small farmers. Small farmers all the time they are struggling for the money, and that is why during the farming season they have to borrow money for performing their farming process or the farming activities, and they are borrowing the money either from the money lenders or the traders, and these people are providing them money at a very high premium interest rate, and sometimes they are also demanding them to do the labor work at their farming field for a minimum wages, and the wages what they give to these farmers is very low wages they are giving. So one side they are giving them money at a very premium interest rate, and the second one is they are asking these farmers to perform labor work in their farming field at a very minimum low wages. So you can understand what will be the condition of these people, what will be the condition of the small farmers, landless farmers in villages of India. Very poor condition is there, and sometimes they are not able to pay back their money what they have taken from these money lenders and traders, and because of that they are going under the huge depression, huge pressure, and sometimes under this huge depression and pressure they are committing suicide also. Now here one very important case study has been given of Savita. I recommend you to read this case study very nicely. Now here the next question is, now after doing the production, how and where they are selling the production. First of all, let me clear you that small farmers doesn't have that so small farmers doesn't have big plot of land, and that is why, since they have very small plot of land, so their production will be also small, and maximum time their production is barely meeting their own requirement, so they are not able to get any extra surplus production, so they are not able to sell in the market. Means they are doing subsistence farming. So what is subsistence farming? Subsistence farming is a farming in which you are just producing for your self consumption. You are not producing for selling in the market. You are just trying to produce for your self consumption. That is called as subsistence farming. So if small farmers are not selling the products in the market, then who is selling? Who is selling? Medium and large scale farmers are selling the surplus products in the market, because they have huge amount of land, and that is why their production is also very huge, and that is why they can sell in the market and they can get very good profit also. So you can understand the small farmers are not getting enough money. They are just barely surviving by doing subsistence farming, And these large farmers who have huge amount of land, doing production at a very huge quantity, selling in the market, is also called as commercial farming, are getting huge profit also. So you can understand the gap between the small farmers and the big farmers are increasing and increasing only. Means rich farmers are becoming more rich and small farmers are becoming more poor. So that is very harsh reality we have in India. Now remember everyone, these rich farmers, after getting huge profit, they are investing their money in some other activities also. Sometimes they are purchasing new machines, sometimes they are giving their money, extra money, as a loan to the small farmers, means they are working as a money lender. Sometimes they are investing in non-farming activities. So what is non-farming activities, we will discuss in next part. So this is all in this particular part. We will discuss about the non-farming activity in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care of yourself, thank you.